thinking about my Prefect speech for a long time. I've been thinking about it since I saw my first one in grade 9. My topics that I always wanted to talk about seem to change every few months or so. I guess this was because I've always struggled with my identity and who I wanted to be. There's no way I can describe my life to you, understand the things I've witnessed and been through in any amount of time, so instead I want you to picture two students. Student A, the straight A student, who's involved in multiple sports and clubs and aspires to becoming a doctor one day. Student B does not take school seriously, takes massive risks in the eyes of authority figures, and leads a pretty reckless life. It's hard to consider student B as someone who will be successful in life from an outsider's point of view. However, in my time here, my own identity and character have seemed to shift towards more being like student B, which may seem bad, but has given me a sense of clarity and purpose in life. It has been because of this shift that I find myself caught between categories and definitions. This has led to me being alone a lot of the time, which initially I thought was a curse, but I found out it's a blessing. You see, when you're alone, you're forced to see the world from different perspectives, whether that be through your own inner change or those of others that impact you. You gain knowledge and life lessons that you would never learn in the classroom. It is these lessons that have, for better or worse, shaped me into the person I am today. It is ultimately the perspectives you learn, experiences you have, and the purposes you discover that create your meaning of life. The fear of not knowing yourself when you are alone can be scary. When you're the only person looking out for you, it can be a good and bad feeling, as you're independent, free of feeling reliant on others. But it can be overwhelming when you realize how complicated the real world is. At Ridley, oftentimes we feel that our lives are convoluted with everything that we endure on a daily basis. Now, I love analogies. It's one of the reasons why I'm such good friends with you men, because he's great at taking complicated situations, comparing them to more simple ones that we can understand from a different viewpoint. In the case of Ridley, to me, it's like an aquarium, and we are the fish. It's an environment designed to replicate the outside world, prepare us for it. Fish in aquariums are known to exhibit traits that are unrealistic to what they would be doing in the ocean. I'm saying this because for a lot of people here, we think that we have life all figured out, and that our lives are so complicated. But in actuality, our lives are very simple. It's when you get thrown in the ocean, and you realize just how complicated life is. I worry sometimes for those I feel will struggle with transitioning from Ridley to college or wherever they may go. The best piece of advice I can give you is that the worst thing you can do with your life is be stubborn, think that your way of life is the best way. High school is full of people who think that they have life all figured out, when in reality we've barely experienced it. You have no idea the person who you'll be in a year's time. The way that we can shape our own perspectives by learning others' ways of life. We may choose to accept or reject others' opinions of the world because it is ultimately up to you or how you approach your life. If you refuse to embrace and embody them, there's no way you can grow or develop as a person. Experience is a lot of what can drive perspective. You can't grow as a person if you continually do the same things all the time and have a fixed mindset. When you're exposed to new situations and challenges, it's then that you discover yourself. From your deepest flaws to your greatest strengths, you can understand why you are the way you are. By facing challenges when you're the only person who can deal with them is when you become confident in yourself. It's when you can do things that you thought you had to do with others, like walk into the dining hall, sit at a table, or even walk to class. I'm a firm believer that you can learn more about the world by traveling and interacting with others in a week than you would learn in a classroom in a year. A lot of major decisions in the world are made based on statistics and analytics of a situation without even knowing what's going on. An issue like poverty is something that world leaders, upper-class people seek to solve solely based on numbers on a screen. But the way in which people who have no opportunities in life, no idea when their next meal is, or no sense of safety, go about their ways can in no way be truly understood while sitting in a classroom. 2 years ago, when I went on exchange to South Africa, I visited a slum with the other exchange students, where we walked through shacks built for families that are the size of your dorm room. When we were there, we went into a preschool with children, all excited to see us and interact with us when none of them spoke English. They seemed not to have a care in the world, and were just excited to be in a classroom learning. I remember sitting there and thinking, their lives are the result of spiraling corruption and racism. Like their parents, they will never have the opportunities like we do to be successful in the world. They will have a life of pain and suffering that they were born into. It was that day where I learned to appreciate and value the life that I'm able to have. It's experiences like those that can greatly impact a person and change their outlook on their own life and the world around them to approach problems with different insights. So have some perspective when it comes to school, and judge whether or not you want it to define you. If you think you won't be successful in life because you don't have the best grades, I promise you, grades do not define your capability and potential in life. Now, your education should matter a lot to you, but you shouldn't let it consume your life and depend on it to teach you everything that you need. Take advantage of your free time, have fun, and be a kid, instead of obsessively preparing for your future and worrying about your past. The experiences you have outside of school were the most important life lessons are learned. This year, especially for me, I've established a sense of purpose in my life through the experiences I have when I'm not fully focusing on school. My purpose in life is something that is completely unique to me, something that I had to discover on my own. It's something that I feel can guide me to become a better person, be successful, and be happy. Things like motivation, self-reflection, and the observation of the world around you are what can allow you to discover what you want to do with your life. This is something that is different for everybody, and it takes time to develop. So don't feel pressured when you think you need to know everything by the time you graduate. High school is just 4 years. You can't expect to figure out what you're going to do by the time you're done. Everybody is still developing as people throughout the entire courses of their lives. Preparing for your future is something that we hear a lot here, which involves focusing on school, getting the best grades. You're at a point in your life when you have your entire future ahead of you, and it's a time where you should be shaping the way you want your life to be. You need to question your own ambitions instead of blindly following the instructions of others. Ask yourself why you want to do whatever it is with your career. Is it because you think that field will be easy for you? Because you think you'll make a lot of money? You should be doing things that push you to your limits, strengthen you as a person, and ultimately make you happy. With saying that, don't forget that you are in high school. You should also be having fun. Don't take life too seriously because you should be enjoying it, living in the moment. Without feeling joy, how will you know what your purpose will be? It's your life. You can do whatever you want with it because at the end of the day, you decide your fate. Thank you.